A closer look, administration and consolidation under the Khiljis and Tughlaqs. The consolidation of a kingdom was vast, as the Delhi Sultanate needed reliable governors and administrators. At that time, the early Delhi Sultans, especially Iltutmish, favored special slaves purchased for military service, and they were called Bendegan. That is a Persian word. What does it mean? Slaves for military service. The ruler Iltutmish, he favored the special slaves, slaves that for a military service, and that were called Bendegan. The Khiljis and Tughlaqs continued to use Bendegan or slaves, and also raised people of humble birth who were often their clients, and they occupied high political positions. And they were also appointed as generals and governors. Unlike the earlier sultans, the Khilji and Tughlaq monarchs, they appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying sizes, and their land were called Iktwa, and their holder were called Iktwadar or Mukti. The earlier Delhi sultans, that is a second important policy. The Khilji and Tughlaq monarchs, they appointed military commanders, and they are also known as governors of some territories, and they also occupied some areas of land. And the lands were called Iktwa, and their holder was called Iktwadar. And the duty of the Mukti was to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iktwas. Iktwadar, the other name is Mukti. The duty of the Mukti was to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order. Okay, that is the main duty related to that particular person, to maintain law and order. Then the third important point, that is, there were different types of taxes. Especially the three are very important. There were three types of taxes. On cultivation called Kharaj. Second type of tax, that is cattle tax. And the third one, houses tax. Okay, the first one is cultivation. Cultivation tax means what? Kharaj, amounting to about 50% of the peasant's produce. Kharaj means tax on cultivation. That is the first type of tax. The second one, on their cattle, they have to pay some amount of money. That is known as a cattle tax. And the other one is a third type of tax, that is houses. And very important to remember that large parts of the subcontinent remained outside the control of the Delhi Sultans. Their area is vast and they can't control. And it was difficult to control distant provinces, especially Bengal area and southern part of India, and some areas they are covered with a thick forest. The Delhi Sultanate and their forces, they could not penetrate. And for that they appointed some officials, and they were called as local chieftains. Okay, and that time that was in 1219, the Mongols means a barbaric tribe of Central Asia. The Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded Transoxania in northeast Iran in 1290, and the Delhi Sultanate forced their onslaught soon after. The Mongols invaded Delhi and under the leadership of Genghis Khan, and Delhi Sultanate, they increased during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and in the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq's rule. The Mongol attacks that increased during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq rule. And these two rulers, Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq, forced the two rulers to mobilize large standing army in Delhi, and which posed a huge administrative challenge. And for that they have to spend a lot of money. Okay, here comes the famous rulers of the Tughlaq dynasty, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And another important ruler, that was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Then comes, after the Tughlaq dynasty, then comes the Sayyid dynasty. Then the last part of this lesson. Some of the states established in this period were very small and powerful. After this Sayyid and Lodi dynasty, some of the states they established and powerful and extremely well administrated kingdoms. And one such ruler that was Shah Sur. Shah captured Delhi and he established his own dynasty. And his dynasty is known as the Sur dynasty. Then comes the last part. Above we have learned that Delhi-based sultanates, mostly of Turkic and Afghan origin in medieval India. And the sultanate ruled from Delhi between 1206 to 1526, when the last was replaced by the Mughal dynasty. Then the next chapter that is also related to the Mughal Empire, the Mughal dynasty. Okay, that's all about this Delhi Sultanate. And today in the live class we will discuss about the question answer. Okay, please write that question in your notebook. Question answers in your notebook. Okay.